Hello, doctor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Okay, let's get back to where we ended last week. Shall we begin? Okay.
Yep.
Do you see my screen now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is where we end last week. So we talk about the cultural index developed by Hofstad, and very useful for us as international marketers. So successful foreign marketing should begin with cultural sensitive. And cultural sensitive can be developed by acquiring knowledge about a culture, such as different meaning of colors and different tastes. And tendency for risk-taking or attitude toward people also affect our uh, our policies for marketing mix. Now I move to the next factor at the macro environment. That's what we call technological factor. And technological environment includes forces that create new technology, new products, and market opportunities. So technology have a significant impact on product development, such as using microfibers or fibers derived from corn and milk protein in the clothing industry. And nowadays, we also apply technology on process improvements such as radio frequency identity technology for improving the distribution system. Please take a note that RFID stands for radio frequency identity. And management system improvements such as we use T24 core banking as a back-end system that processes daily banking transaction and post updates to accounts and other financial records. Now I'm gonna uh, let you watch a short video about RFID. RFID stands for radio frequency identity technology. I'm sorry, identification, if you like, radio frequency identification technology. And you know that Walmart has strongly encouraged suppliers shipping products to its distribution center to apply RFID that's to their pallets. So far, more than 600 Walmart suppliers are doing so. And another international company such as American Apparel also use RFID to manage inventory in many of its retail stores. And as a result, American Apparel store with RFID technology has an average of 40% higher sale, but 15% lower stockroom inventories than other stores. And the chains RFID store require 20% to 30% fewer steps because employees don't have to spend 5 more hours a day doing manual inventory check. Now let's see what is actually radio frequency identification technology. What is it and how we use this technology in, let's say, inventory check?
The time factor plays a key role in the process of getting a product from its manufacturer to its point of sale, because time is money. RFID, radio frequency identification, is a new technology that significantly increases the efficiency of this process chain. With RFID, data are transferred without physical contact. In addition, RFID helps positively identify shipping units. In an instant, valuable information is recorded and utilized on an international scale. This example demonstrates how it functions in practice. The process chain begins with production and continues by way of a central warehouse onto the retailer. In the manufacturer's warehouse, goods are prepared for distribution to retailers. Without RFID, order picking of mixed pallets for delivery to department stores or supermarkets can be extremely time-consuming. Why? Because it requires a whole series of individual steps, most of them manual. In future, processes that now have to be carried out by hand will function automatically based on RFID. The key is the RFID transponder, which can be affixed to boxes and pallets as early as the production stage. Communication between transponders and RFID readers is fully automatic. They practically do the work by themselves. Readers installed at various points in the sorting and order picking process register the electronic product codes stored on the transponders the moment they come into range. These data are immediately transferred to the central logistics and merchandise management system. Within seconds, the goods delivered are compared in detail with the goods ordered. Even transport and sorting in the warehouse can be automated in future. RFID tags indicate where each product belongs. This enables the hanger goods sorter, for example, to transport the merchandise to its intended destination. The faster the goods leave the warehouse, the more efficient the process. Processing incoming goods by today's methods is also quite labor-intensive, and so is warehouse management, sorting and positioning the goods, because a large proportion of the processes must be carried out manually. Here too, in the incoming goods area, RFID is set to considerably accelerate processes in future. The fully automated reader registers the relevant information as goods enter the gate. The data are transferred directly to the merchandise management system. A single reader is capable of registering up to 40 RFID transponders in 1 second. This can mean time savings of 10 minutes for each truck, a major plus in cost effectiveness, because the merchandise reaches its destination much faster, and both manpower and means of transport are utilized more efficiently. In the warehouse, forklifts and high shelves will be equipped with RFID technology, which will automatically indicate to the operator the storage position of each product. When the employee sorts the goods into the correct place, confirmation is given via touchscreen monitor. If he or she selects the wrong place for the product, an error is indicated. This way, RFID helps ensure that the goods are always in the right places, and taking inventory is as simple as pushing a button. RFID allows trade and industry companies to track goods, the path they take, and their location at any given time throughout the supply chain, from anywhere in the world. Handling incoming goods in stores is currently just as labor-intensive as the incoming goods processing we saw in the distribution center. The final leg of the journey from manufacturer to retail shelf is the path between the warehouse of the store and the sales area itself. Readily accessible, up-to-date, and relevant information is essential to ensuring that a product is available at the right time and in the right place. The store's warehouse management plays a key role. In future, RFID will simplify storage of products in the retailer's warehouse, because at all times, staff will be able to precisely and quickly locate pallets and cartons. The moment the goods are removed from the warehouse, RFID readers re-register the data stored on the transponders. The merchandise management system books this movement of goods as well, and the information in the system is kept up to date. Precise and current data, anytime and anywhere, help products make their way from the manufacturer to the point of sale quickly and easily. At the same time, they provide the perfect basis for keeping goods on the shelves at all times. RFID, for more efficiency, all the way from producer to customer.
Someone's sending me a message. Oops. Okay, just a minute. Okay, there's no doubt that the RFID technology is very useful for us at international market to cut costs. This is another example that how we use the RFID technology in convenience store. Let me show you the clips. So go RFID. No.
Years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Okay, so that's all about the RFID technology. So now we move to the next factor in the external environment. So now we move to the micro environment. In order to remember external environmental factor at the micro level, usually we use what we call the value chain to remember those key factors. So I'm going to ask you some questions about the value chain. That's what you already learned in the principle of marketing. So, is there anyone of you can tell me the key actor or key player in value chains? Anyone? Hello, guys.
Yes.
Yes. Is there any volunteer to tell me the key factor in value chain?
It has to be transfer the goods in the right time at the right place, at the right place at the right time, right?
No, I didn't ask you about the video. We moved. That's it. Okay, so we move to the micro environmental factor. So now my question for you. Is there any one of you or who can tell me the key actor in the value chain?
Can I answer that?
Yes,
Doctor?
please. Yes.
So the five key factors of the value chain is the I can say this backward logistic the well. I don't remember that in English. Yeah.
You're right. You're right, guys. But you're mentioning the key activity in value chain. What I ask you is about the key actor, not key activities. Key actor. So, who are the key actor in the value chain?
Infrastructure, human resources.
No. Sorry. No.
Can I answer?
Yes. Lady?
There are 5 key factors of value chain. First one is supplier, second one is manufacturer, the third is distributor, and the fourth is retailer, and the last is customer.
Excellent. I'm going to give you 1 point of point for your answer. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. So the first key actor in the value chain is called supplier. Suppliers are those who supply the raw material to manufacturer for producing the products. So the next key player is called manufacturer. And once the product is produced, they transfer to what we say the distributor. Distributor are those who going to distribute the products to the customer. So in case of distributor, we classify distributor into 2 small subcategory that include a wholesaler and retailer. So distributor going to transfer the good to customer. Customer, if you like, customer. So these are the key actors in a value chain. So in order to remember the external environmental factor at the micro level, usually we use the key actor in the value chain to remember those factors. So let's back to the slide. I'm going to show you how it works. Oops. So at the micro level, yeah, this level include the factors that are very close to the company, and they include supplier, customer, distributor, and you add another competitors if you like. So these are the key factors at the micro environment. So micro environment includes all the actors. Do you see? The actor is called the key player close to the company that affect positively or negatively. Its ability to create value for a relationship with its customer. So in order to provide the definition of customer, we need to define what type of customer we are talking about. So in marketing as well as management, we divide the market into 3 types of market. The first one is called B2C markets, and B2C stands for business to customer. B2C, B2C. We don't say B2C, we pronounce it B2C. So for the B2C markets, customers are individuals and households who buy goods or services for personal consumption. But for B2B markets, B2B stands for business to business. For the B2B markets, customers are business organizations which buy goods and services for further processing or further producing or use in their production process. It means that they use their products, goods or services for producing another products. In terms of reseller markets, customers are individuals and groups who buy goods and services to resell at a profit. And finally, regarding the government markets, customers are government agencies who buy goods and services to produce public services or transfer the goods and services to others who need them. For example, like underground system contract between Tokyo Metro and Vietnamese government agency to build the first underground line in Ho Chi Minh City. So in that case, who is the customer and who is the provider, the service provider? Who? Is it correct that Tokyo Metro is the service provider and Vietnamese government in this case gonna be the customer? So you see the point? So it depends on the type of customer we're talking in order to define and in order to provide its definition. So I move to the supplier. I'm going to make it quick because these terms are the ones that you already learned in principle of marketing. So I don't want to waste our time just to repeat these terms again. Okay, supplier. Supplier are those who provide the resources needed by the company to produce its goods and services. So supplier problem can certainly affect marketing. An international marketing manager must take into account these 4 considerations, including supplier relation, timely reach, availability, and cost. So why we need to consider this factor? Because supply shortage or delays can cause sales in the short run and damage our customer satisfaction in the long run. Moreover, rising supply costs may force price increase that can harm the company's sales values. And every organization faces a wide range of competitors. So to be successful, the organization must provide greater values and satisfaction than its competitors. Unfortunately, there's no single competitive marketing strategy that is best for all organizations, or there's no single competitive strategy that we can use for own situation. Each organization should consider two key aspects: the organization size as compared to its competitor, and its industry position compared to its competitor. Now I'm going to give you an example for it. If you want to cut the price, it's going to lead to a price war. So it's not a wise choice. It's not a wise strategy for you guys. So if your organization is ranking at the bottom in the international market, it may require a defensive strategy to survive. On the opposite situation, if your organization is ranking at the top 3, it may require an aggressive strategy or attacking strategy to dominate the market. I'm going to use the picture to explain to you. Okay, so first of all, so like this is the size of your company. And this is the size of your competitor. So in this case, which strategy should you go for? A defensive strategy or aggressive strategy? Of course, you're going to choose a defensive strategy to survive. You don't wanna beat your competitor by cutting price. It's not a good strategy. Why? Because if you cut the price, if you go for reduced price, your competitor will decrease their price as well. So this will lead to a price war. And if a price war happens, who's gonna benefit from the price war? Who?
Customer.
Thank you very much. I'm gonna give you a bonus point for your answer. Customer, exactly. Customer are the ones who gonna benefit from the price war, not your company, not your competitor. Both are sacrificed or sweet the profit for the price war. So in this case, it's better to use a defensive strategy. Always you can defensive strategy. So what does it mean by defensive strategy? It's a strategy that usually used to catch up with your competitor. You don't cut the price. You follow or you react to your competitor strategy. For example, if your competitor are trying to run an advertising campaign, maybe you're gonna catch up with it by producing your advertising campaign. So you always stay, what can I say, passive. You don't act as an active player in the market. No, you try to defend yourself. Don't attack. And what happens if is opposite? So in the opposite case, so this is your computer, and this is your company. So which strategy you're gonna look for? A defensive strategy or attacking strategy? Of course, attacking. Such as cutting price. So in this case, if you try to cut the product price, what's going to happen? Who's going to die first? Your competitors or your company? Which one going to die first?
Competitors.
Yes, thank you very much. Your competitor are going to die first. Why? Because their size is smaller than yours. So that's why, in this case, adopt an attacking strategy in order to dominate the market, to lead the market, to eliminate your competitors. But be aware of dumping price because it's illegal. It's against the law. So that's what I mean. So now I'll get back to the slide. So now I move to the distributor. Distributor are those who have the company promote, sell, and distribute its products to final buyers. So in terms of distributor, we classify it into resellers and physical distribution firms. Resellers are distribution channel firms that help the company find customer or make sales to themselves. Meanwhile, physical distribution firms help the company stock and move goods from their points of origin to their destination. That's it for chapter 2. And this is the reference list for the chapter 2. So you can refer if you like. So now I'm gonna move to the chapter 3, marketing research, international marketing research. I'm gonna turn this on. Chapter 3, international marketing research. Just wait a minute. I need to check this one. So nowadays, in the 21st century, your business is changing, your competition is changing, and marketing without data is just like driving with your eyes closed. So have you ever tried to drive with your eyes closed, guys?
Sometimes in my dream.
It's adventurous.
In your room. Okay. It's dangerous, is it? No. So this code highlights the fact that research is just like the link between marketer and market, without which marketing cannot function. Here are the key learning objectives of chapter 3. First, you will be able to understand the definition, process, breadth, and scope of an international marketing research. And then you can recognize the importance of problem or opportunity definition in the international marketing research. You will be able to identify different sources of information for the international marketing research. And next, you can distinguish between quantitative and qualitative research methods. So in research, in general, we divide the methods into quantitative and qualitative. So next, you will be able to understand the problem associated with multicultural sampling. And finally, you can recognize the implication of the international marketing research. So These Vietnamese food are well known for a common use. The Vietnamese food is well known for a common usage of oils, fats, and sauces such as fish sauce in the preparation of dishes. So, would these Vietnamese menus work in the European market? What do you think?
It might work if in the European markets there are Asian people. They will fond of this menu. But
Yeah,
in the majority of the European market, they tend to like they use less spice and have a different appetite than Asian culture.
yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
correct. So we don't know. The answer is we don't know yet. We only know once we conduct an international marketing research. How about this? Would this new product taste and packaging design be successful or failures in other countries rather than Japan? The answer is we don't know. So, marketing research is traditionally defined as the systematic gathering, recording, and analyzing of data to provide information useful to marketing decision making. I'm going to give the gentleman just provide his answer. I'm going to give you 1 bonus point for your answer. Hello? Do you hear that?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So, researchers maintain that entry into a fast developing, new to the foreign markets is one of the most daunting and ambiguous strategic decisions an executive can face or an international market can face. So, first, researchers must prepare for new parameters of doing business in the foreign market. So not only will there be different requirements, but the ways in which rules are applied may differ as well. Second, cultural mega-shock may occur as company personnel come to grips with a new set of color-based assumptions about conducting business. And third, a company entering more than one new geographic market face a positioning network of interacting factors. So research may have prevent psychological overload. And finally, company researchers may have to broaden the definition of competitor in international markets to include competitive pressure that would not be present in the domestic market. So, for example, problem with the language barrier that we have studied before about when we examining the case what is it Best Buy or Coca-Cola in Chinese market. So the international marketers in in order to avoid the communication barriers, an international marketers need to translate their research question into terms that consumer in your target international market use. And the answer must be translated back to English so that American manager can comprehend. So that's why we call communication barrier. That's the first problem when we conduct an international marketing research. Another problem we have to face when conducting an international marketing research involve the research tools. Research tools are instruments which are chosen to facilitate the research tasks, and research tools may include techniques of measurement. So in some developing countries such as the UK or the US, asking questions about the age or income can be considered as rude or impolite or sensitive. Meanwhile, the same question seems to be popular in Asian countries, including Vietnam. So those are the two key problems in international marketing research. So here is the breadth and scope of international marketing research. As a researcher, first we need to collect general information about the country, area, and or the market. And then we collect information necessary to forecast future marketing requirements. And finally, we try to collect specific market information used to develop the marketing plan. Here are some examples for research of industry, market, and characteristic and trends. So that merger and acquisition, we call it M&A analysis. So in M&A analysis, the researcher tried to determine whether a business merger and acquisition is the way to go. Is it a good option for us to choose? Diversification analysis will be useful if we search for growth opportunity from among current and new markets, as well as current and new products. Meanwhile, market share analysis is used to determine how well a firm is doing in the marketplace compared to its competitors. Finally, export research is the process of gathering and evaluating information in the target foreign market with the objective of identifying market opportunities and constraints. Here are all the examples for international buyers' behavior research. The first one is called brand references. Brand references research is a kind of research which aims to understand the customer behavioral tendency toward a particular brand. Brand awareness. Brand awareness study is quite similar to brand references. It aims to answer the key question: what percentage of your target market is aware of your brand? Purchase behavior study aims to understand how the customer respond to or use the company products. Finally, consumer segmentation study is the practice of dividing the customer base into groups of individuals that are similar to specific ways relevant to marketing, such as age, gender, interest, and spending pattern or spending habits, if you like. So, on your right-hand side is the picture about blind date test. And blind date test is a frequently used method for the concept development and testing, or packaging design testing. Have you ever heard of that term before? Blind date test. Usually the participant carry a blind folder so that they cannot see what's happening. And then the researcher give two boards, for example, in this case, two boards of snack, and ask them to try. And then tell the researcher that talks about the taste of these two poles, which one they prefer. Yeah, that's what we call blind date test. Perhaps international distribution research such as channel performance and coverage research. For international marketing research relating to promotion and pricing, we have international promotion research, such as advertising effectiveness research or international media research. We also use different methods or different methodology in research to research the price in the international market, such as price sensitive research or study of inflation rates and pricing, how inflation affect our product price. So here's the international marketing process. Step 1, you need to define the research problem and objective. Step 2, you need to determine the sources of information, what type of information you need to collect as a researcher. And step 3, you need to consider the costs and benefits of the research effort. Step 4, you gather the relevant data from secondary and primary sources. Step 5, you're gonna analyze, interpret, and summarize the results. And finally, you communicate the results to decision makers. So this is the 6-step process for conducting an international marketing research. So I'm gonna show you a short video. So in this video, it's about the Speed Dealer by Steve Jobs in 1997. So please watch this video carefully and discuss in group to identify what was the problem facing Apple before their Think Different campaign. So is it clear? Do you need me to repeat the question again? Guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I repeat the question. This is the question for you after watching this video. So the question is, what was the problem facing Apple before their Think Different campaign? Is it clear?
Yes.
Clear.
Okay, so now watch this video. Let's watch. Movie time.
To me, marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world.
Oh, just wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Is it okay for you if I turn on the caption? Just like that.
Okay.
Or you refer the original video without caption, without subtitle? Which one you refer?
Video
With subtitle or without subtitle?
with title.
Subtitle, please.
I know it.
To me, marketing is about values. This is a very complicated world. It's a very noisy world. And we're not going to get a chance to get people to remember much about us. No company is. And so we have to be really clear on what we want them to know about us. Now, Apple, fortunately, is one of the half a dozen best brands in the whole world. Right up there with Nike, Disney, Coke, Sony. It is one of the greats of the greats, not just in this country, but all around the globe. And but even a great brand needs investment in caring if it's going to retain its relevance and vitality. And the Apple brand has clearly suffered from neglect in this area in the last few years. And we need to bring it back. The way to do that is not to talk about speeds and feeds. It's not to talk about MIPS and megahertz. It's not to talk about why we're better than Windows. The dairy industry tried for 20 years to convince you that milk was good for you. It's a lie, but they tried anyway. And the sales were going like this. And then they tried Got Milk, and the sales are going like this. Got Milk doesn't even talk about the product. Matter of fact, it focuses on the absence of the product. But the best example of all, and one of the greatest jobs of marketing in the universe has ever seen is Nike. Remember, Nike sells a commodity. They sell shoes. And yet, when you think of Nike, you feel something different than a shoe company. In their ads, as you know, they don't ever talk about the product. They don't ever tell you about their air soles and why they're better than Reebok's air soles. What does Nike do in their advertising? They honor great athletes and they honor great athletics. That's who they are. That's what they are about. Apple spends a fortune on advertising. You'd never know it. You'd never know it. So when I got here, Apple just fired their agency. They're doing a competition with 23 agencies that, 4 years from now would pick one. And we blew that up, and we hired Chiat/Day, the ad agency that I was fortunate enough to work with years ago. We created some award-winning work, including the commercial voted the best ad ever made in 1984 by advertising professionals. And we started working about 8 weeks ago. And the question we asked was, our customers want to know who is Apple and what is it that we stand for? Where do we fit in this world? And what we're about isn't making boxes for people to get their jobs done, although we do that well. We do that better than almost anybody in some cases. But Apple's about something more than that. Apple, at the core, its core value is that we believe that people with passion can change the world for the better. That's what we believe. And we've had the opportunity to work with people like that. We've had an opportunity to work with people like you, with software developers, with customers who have done it in some big and some small ways. And we believe that in this world, people can change it for the better. And that those people that are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones that actually do. And so what we're going to do in our first brand marketing campaign in several years is to get back to that core value. A lot of things have changed. The market's a totally different place than it was a decade ago. And Apple's totally different, and Apple's place in it is totally different. And believe me, the products and the distribution strategy and the manufacturing are totally different, and we understand that. But values and core values, those things shouldn't change. The things that Apple believed in at its core are the same things that Apple really stands for today. And so we wanted to find a way to communicate this. And what we have is something that I am very moved by. It honors those people who have changed the world. Some of them are living, some of them are not. But the ones that aren't, as you'll see, you know that if they'd ever used a computer, it would have been a Mac. And the theme of the campaign is Think Different. It's the people, honoring the people who think different and who move this world forward. And it is what we are about. It touches the soul of this company. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it, and I hope that you feel the same way about it I do.
So, what do you feel? What do you think right now? Guys? Hello? So what was the problem facing Apple before they take different campaign?
Bảo đâu
Anyone?
kìa Bảo ơi.
Yeah?
I think the problem for the thing different campaign is the brands and companies are slowly forgot about their core values. When Apple introduced a new product like the Macintosh computer, they always like compare them to other brands, like how fast is this, how they get things to do better than other competitors. What they are really not focused about is their core values, is how people can change the world, people can think differently, and they see about their the aspect of Nike that they not like advertise their products. But they honor athletes, they honor rich people who are like they have the talent, they have the courage, they have the passions to change the world. And Apple's think that's their core value to help people, to help change the world. So they try not to neglect that core value. So they come up with the Think Different campaign.
Think different. Okay. You mentioned some good point in the videos, and what can I say? Yeah, it's true. You're correct. You're right. But you mentioned a couple of times about the core value of Apple. So what is core value? So what is the core value of Apple? Can you tell that?
The core values of Apple is the people who have great passions can change the world.
What can I say? It's not really, but its core value is making computer.
Okay.
And what they worry about is that they don't want their customers to see them as making boxes for people to get the job done. That's the problem. Do you see it? And
yes.
Apple customer want to know who's Apple and what is that they stand for, and where do they as Apple fit in this world. They don't want to tell the customer that they're just a computer manufacturer. Just as Nike, when people talk about Nike, it's not simply a shoe manufacturer. It's more than that. So the problem statement can differ in two forms from the video. The first one is that what are the gaps in the international markets that Apple can fill them? And second is how can Apple distinguish its products from other competitors? And yeah. So as a researcher, you should never make any assumption until you get your market research done. So that's all about. I'm gonna give you a short break for 15 minutes, and then I get back to the slide. Okay, congratulations. The one who volunteered to answer me. I'm gonna give you 1 bonus point for your answer. Yeah, it's true. You get some important points. but you don't know how to connect those piece of information to get the best answer for me. But anyway, I give you 1 bonus point for your answer. So now we're gonna take a break for 15 minutes. So see you in 15 minutes time, guys. Are you listening?
Yes.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so see you in 15 minutes. So it's okay to get back to what we're studying. Guys.
Yes.
Okay. So as you saw in the previous video, a problem or opportunity definition is an important step when doing international marketing research. So it can be seen as a critical first step in marketing research, and can be a problem or opportunity that requires or that lead to a research, and if not defined correctly, research will be wasted. And primary research may be needed to have defined the problem. I'm going to give you an example why this first step is very important. Have you ever heard of the color war between Pepsi and Coca-Cola in 1975? If you go to if you open Google search and then typing let's see Google Coca-Cola biggest mistake. If you type the keyword Coca-Cola biggest mistake, you're gonna find the new code of Coca-Cola, the biggest mistake in history. So what happened is that the color war began with the Pepsi challenge in 1975, and a panel of researchers at Coca-Cola sat down and discussed in order to identify the problem, and they found that the symptom involved the decline in sales revenue, and the problem that they defined involved a change in the customer taste. So Coca-Cola conducted a blind taste test across the U.S. in the early 1980s. So according to the result of blind taste test, they found that consumers prefer a sweeter product similar to Pepsi Cola. So they launched a new Coke products, and new Coke was introduced. So just after 3 months, new Coke was discontinued. And the reason for its failure can be seen as they failed to measure the emotional attachment and loyalty to the original Coke. So, so from the example of the failure of Coca-Cola, you can see that in order to identify the problems, it's very important. It's a critical first step in marketing research. Have you ever heard the iceberg principle? The iceberg principle.
Yes.
So according to the iceberg principle, what we usually see is at the top of an iceberg. We can't see the bottom of an iceberg because it's under the water. That's why we cannot see. So the key role of international marketing researcher is to identify the problem, not the symptom. Let me give you an example for this. Have you ever go for a medical checkup? For example, like COVID-19. How do you know that you get a COVID-19 or not? How?
By testing.
Yes, I know by testing, but how do you know that you need to take a test?
Because I see the symptom.
Yes, symptoms. So can you give me some example for symptom of COVID-19?
It's like difficultly breath, cold, and heart, the lungs.
So what are they? Okay, difficulty in breathing. Is it correct? Sore throat.
Yes.
Fever, if I'm not wrong. Do we have fever when we get COVID-19? Fever?
Yes.
So on and so forth. Yes. So those are the symptoms, not problem. Symptom is just the things that we can observe, but not the. Meanwhile, the problems is the main cause of the symptom. Can you distinguish between symptom and problem? Can you?
Yes.
Okay, I repeat again. Symptoms are the what can I say? The things that you can observe, you can see, you can experience, you can feel. But the problem is the main cause of the symptom. So you use as international marketing researcher need to distinguish between these two terms. And usually, decision maker usually look at the symptom such as unhappy customer, decrease in market share, loss of sale, low traffic of their website, so on and so forth. So those are obvious measurable symptoms, not problems. And if the symptoms involve unhappy customer, then we need to define or we need to identify the cause of the cause leading to unhappy customer. For example, our customer are not happy or unhappy because of, for instance, low quality products or unethical treatment of customer or inappropriate delivery system. And if you don't get the problem right at the first step, the rest of your research is gonna be wasted. So here are some common mistakes in defining problems. The problem may be only a symptom of a deeper problems. So in the new code case, we see that the symptom is the decline in sales revenue. But the problem definition based on symptom that change in the customer days is not correct. The true problem involve change in the ring packaging or old-fashioned package influence taste perception. Okay, I'm gonna explain this a little bit more because it's quite difficult for you to understand. If you type in a new code, you're gonna see this actually happened. Okay, so this is the original package of Coca-Cola. Do you see it on your left hand side? the original package of Coca-Cola. So their customer are familiar with this package, this packaging, its design, its color. All of this affect the customer taste. And the big mistake of Coca-Cola is to introduce a whole new sign package, including the slogan, the logo, the color. So now you see the problem. Hello guys, are you? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So be careful when identifying the problem for international marketing research, because it's common. It's common that you get the because it's common that the problem may be only a symptom of a deeper problem. So in this case, true problem is change the ring packaging, not change in customer taste. Another common mistake you usually make involve the case that the problem may be too narrow or too broad. So in the new code case, too narrow problem involve change in the customer taste, but too broad problem involve problem associated with the current products. And the appropriate problem is the problem associated with the current marketing mix. You see the difference, guys? This is too narrow. Just focus on the customer taste, too narrow. Meanwhile, focus on the current product is too broad. So what aspect of products you're talking about? What aspect of products you planning to research, to do a research? So that when we talk about research, products, we have different aspects such as packaging, price, design, so on and so forth. So you need to be more specific to the problem. So in this case, the problem associated with the current marketing mix is the appropriate problem. And the last common mistake is that you guys usually misunderstand between management decision problem and marketing research problem. So when we talk about management decision problem, it's usually the problem that we ask what the decision maker need to do, and it tends to be action oriented. And it focuses more on symptoms, not problem. Meanwhile, marketing research problem, we need to ask what information is needed and how it should be obtained. And in marketing research problem, focus on information oriented, as well as the problem definition. So you see the difference here. Management decision problem tend to be action oriented. What we will do, what we have to do. Meanwhile, marketing research program focus on information oriented. What information do we need to collect? What information do we need to we need to analyze to identify the problem we're facing? Guys, hello.
Yes.
I'm going to give you some example for this. Okay, I'm going to open this one. To increase the cell volume by No. 2, 20%. So now you guys please tell me this statement is a management decision problem or marketing research problem.
This is the decision problem.
Yes, thank you very much. It's about management decision problem, not marketing research problem. You see it? Management decision problem, you see as what the decision maker needs to do, what we as a decision maker have to do in the future. Meanwhile, marketing research problem, we ask what information is needed and how it should be obtained. So, you see the difference? Be careful of those common mistakes. So in order to establish the research objective, we need to answer this question. What information is needed to show the problem definition effectively and efficiently? Here's our example for you guys. For example, symptoms is the loss of cell. And problem definition involves inappropriate advertising campaign. So research goal is to determine the effectiveness of the current advertising campaign, and research objective include the following. First, to determine whether a consumer can recall the advertisement. And second, to identify whether the advertisement will be interpreted accurately. And finally, to evaluate the influence of the advertisement or attitudes toward the products. So, symptom, loss of cell, is what we can observe, or we say observable. Symptom, we can observe what is going on. But in order to identify the problem, the main cause of the symptom, we need to dive deeper to find the problem. So, for example, in this case, problem definition is the inappropriate advertising campaign. This is the main cause of loss of sale. This is what the main cause of the symptom. Not enough space. You see the difference? Symptom is what we can observe. Problem is the main cause of the symptom. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, really clear.
Yes.
Okay. So in order to determine the sources of information in marketing research, we have two types of data we can use. The first one is called secondary data, and secondary data are historical data structure of variables previously collected and assembled for some research problem or opportunity situation other than the current situation. I'm gonna give you some example for secondary data. For example, as a researcher, you get some information from the magazine or journal or books that you think they're relevant to your research. So those kind of information are called secondary data. Why? Because They are the data that already collected for other purpose rather than your purpose. Is it clear? Secondary data. Tiếng Việt là dữ liệu thứ cấp các bạn. Các bạn đã được học ở trong Principle Marketing rồi đúng không? Marketing căn bản. Đó, một số nếu như thầy không lầm thì như trong lớp thì như có Vi hả Vi? Một số bạn sinh viên đã học lớp Marketing Research của thầy thì các bạn đã rành hết các cái thuật ngữ này rồi đúng không? Thầy chỉ lướt qua ha, thầy học chi tiết ha. Dữ liệu thứ cấp, dữ liệu sơ cấp, nghiên cứu định lượng, nghiên cứu định tính, vân vân, và một số cái phương pháp thu thập dữ liệu trong nghiên cứu định lượng và nghiên cứu định tính thầy đã dạy hết trong cái lớp Marketing Research. Bạn nào chưa học lớp đó của thầy thì các bạn chỉ cần nắm khái quát ở cái chương này, tại mục đích của học phần của mình là International Marketing chứ không phải là Marketing Research ha. Sau này nếu các bạn không rõ thì các bạn có thể học chi tiết ở các cái học phần sau. So here are some problems with secondary data. First one involves availability of secondary data, and this is whether the secondary data is available to collect. Availability, whether it is available to collect. The next one is called reliability or repeatability or consistency of secondary data. It refers to the extent in which the secondary data is reliable or whether the result can be replicated in similar contexts. The third one is called validity, and it refers to the extent in which the secondary data is valid. For example, a report conducted by McKinsey about the Vietnamese usage of internet banking may be not reliable anymore in 2018 because the data is seen as out of date, more than 1 year. So in other words, data may not have the level of reliability necessary for confident decision making for many reasons. The last one involves comparability of data. And secondary data can even be a problem when the best commercial research firms collect data across country, and managers are well advised to query their vendors about this problem. For example, our research studying the customer usage pattern in Europe cannot be used in the Vietnamese market, and vice versa. So in order to check for the accuracy of secondary data, here are some questions that you need to ask yourself. Who collected the data? For what purpose were the data collected? How were the data collected? And are the data internally consistent and logical in light of known data sources or market factors? Here are some sources of secondary data. You can go to the General Statistics of Vietnam, www.gso.gov.vn, to look for secondary data. Or another website I suggest is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the World Bank, or Hofstede Center, Hofstede Insight that you explored before. Now I'm going to show you how it works. Just open a web browser. I'm going to leave this for the next class. Just open a web browser and type in World Bank. Okay, so if you scroll down, you're going to see data.worldbank.org. World Bank Open Data. So this is the one. Just click on it. So if you want to search, for example, like some indicators of Vietnam, economic indicators of Vietnam, just type in Vietnam. Press enter. Okay, here's my country. Let's see Vietnam. Okay, so Vietnam is going to be here. If you want to search for example, like inflation rate of Vietnam, inflation rate. Here we have inflation, consumer price, pounds rate, simple mean, blah 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 blah, debt rate, tariff rate, so on and so forth. So just I think this is the correct one. So inflation. No, not this one. Unity. Inflation. Okay, so this is the one, consumer price, inflation. So if you type in Vietnam, inflation, consumer prices, inflation, so on and so forth, you're gonna see the secondary data provided by the World Bank. So if you, here are some graphs and figure for you. You can narrow down your range search. For example, like if you want to narrow it down from let's say 2010 to 2020, so just narrow the scope of the search, so you're gonna get the result for your search. If you want to download the data, the secondary data as Excel or CSV, just click the link here. Do you see download Excel? So click on it. So it will automatically download the secondary data you're looking for. So it's clear, guys?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, it's very useful not only for this module but other modules as well, because you are a marketing student or you're studying marketing, economics, management. So this secondary is very useful. Okay, so let's move on. I already showed you how to use the Hofstadter Center, right? Guys, Hofstadter Insight, the cultural index developed by Hofstadter.
Yes.
Okay, so just skip. Now I move to the second type of data. That's what we call RAMI data. And RAMI data represents first and raw data and structure that has yet to receive any type of meaningful interpretation. So when we decide to conduct an international marketing research, we need to take into account the costs and benefits of the research. And for example, we can use the formula to see whether the cost is higher than the benefit or vice versa. And we only conduct our research if its benefits larger than its cost. Now I move to key RAMI data collection methods. So in international marketing research, we apply two types of research methodology. The first one is called qualitative research, and qualitative research is used in international marketing research to formulate and define a problem more clearly and to determine relevant questions to be examined in subsequent research. It is used to stimulate a message idea and where interest center on gaining an understanding of a market rather than quantifying relevant aspects. And here are some data collection methods used in qualitative research. The first one you can use is in-depth interview, or you can use observation to collect rummy data in qualitative research, or receptive techniques and focus group as well. So I'm going to go one by one. The first technique to collect rummy data in qualitative research is called receptive techniques. So the image on the screen is an example for word association. It's a technique in the receptive techniques. The images were actually used in an empirical research conducted by Vienna and her college about consumer perception of beef burger with different healthy attributes. So their research sought to classify consumer according to their attitude toward health and obtain insight on the perception of consumer toward different types of burger, such as traditional burger, reduced sodium burger, reduced fat burger, or with antioxidant burger. So each consumer will receive a questionnaire with instruction and answer spaces. And the course with the type of burger were evaluated from left to right by responding to each one with association or thoughts or feeling that came to mind on the questionnaire. So then the consumer were asked to indicate the degree of agreement with respect to a series of statements that comprise the attitudinal questionnaire. Okay, so another rummy data collection methods in quality research involve focus group. Focus group interviews are difficult to conduct in Confucian society, and personal referrals are needed to contact consumer, and people are often hesitant to criticize new products ideas when companies seek candid opinions. So you may ask me why focus group interview is not really recommended in international marketing research. I'm going to give you an example for it. For example, like in Asian country, a personal reference, referrals, and recommendation are a powerful factor, and the first and foremost requirement in any aspect of Asian people in order to get a job. The candidate must have at least 2 referrals. Even worse, such as my situation before to when I get marriage, I was also required by my parents-in-law to have some referrals or recommendation or proofs showing that I'm a good people and I'm a faithful husband. So, you see, different cultural differences between Europe and between the West and the East. So be aware of the face value. It's quite important in Asian country like Vietnam. It's gonna affect the result of your research. And a large number of respondents are asked to reply. Okay, so now I move to, I'm sorry, this is my mistake. Actually, this one is talking about survey in quantitative research. Okay, so if you have a pen with you, please. This is Ramirez. I'm gonna put it here, survey in quantitative research. Guys, are you following? Yes, yes. Or no? Okay, please, yeah. Please, put a note here that that this slide is about survey in quantitative research, so it's clearer for you guys. So, in quantitative research, the key primary data collection methods is survey, And large number, and in a survey, a large number of respondents are asked to reply either verbally or in writing to structured questions using a specific response format, such as yes or no, or to select response from a set of choices, such as like a scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And quantitative research provides the market with responses that can be presented with precise estimation. Here is an example for a survey about changing from e-payment to m-payment, the role of switching period, and it's a research conducted by me. It's quite long ago when I was at the Kingston University. So on the screen, you can see this is an example for a survey. You decide, you use the Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree to ask your participant about some aspect that you need to collect data. So here are some problems with quantitative research. The first one involves the response bias, such as tendency to choose the middle. And response bias is the tendency of a person to answer a question on a survey untruthfully or misleadingly. The next problem is called courtesy bias, or tendency to avoid offending others by understaying any dissatisfaction. For example, if there's a beautiful girl standing in front of the UEF and ask you to spend a couple of minutes to fill her survey. So, what happened? You might disagree with some point in the questionnaire, but because of being polite, being gentleman, so you tend to avoid offending her by understanding any dissatisfaction with the question or dissatisfaction with the products you see asking for. So do you see my point, guys? Courtesy bias.
Yes.
Yeah.
The next bias is called social desirability bias, or tendency to over or under-report. And the last one is sensitive evolve sensitive question. I'm sorry, such as income, age, or gender. Keep in mind that it's very important for you guys as international marketing researcher to avoid asking sensitive questions. In Asian country, in European country like the UK or wherever country in Europe, such as income or age or gender, it's quite normal here in Vietnam to ask an individual age or income, but it's not common in the UK to ask those questions because it's rule is because these are sensitive questions. Okay, so here are an example for response bias, or also called survey bias if you like. And it's the tendency of a person to answer question on a survey untruthfully or misleadingly, such as a tendency to choose the middle. So for example, if you, this happened to one of my participants when I conduct this research. Okay, I asked him to spend 15 minutes to complete my questionnaire. Okay, he agrees to participate, but then she just choose the middle without reading the text. So this is why we call response bias, because here results gonna affect my research results. Are you understanding what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next bias is called social desirability bias, or tendency to over or under report. Okay, first of all, like in this case, okay, you read the text. I think that using e-payment for any purchase is a better idea than using e-payment. And if you somewhat agree, then you take it here. But you know, sometimes because of being polite or being gentleman to others, we tend to over-report what is actually is. First of all, in this case, instead of choosing somewhat agree, you tend to choose strongly agree. That's what we call over-report. And this is gonna affect the research result. Social desirability bias. And when designing a questionnaire in survey, try to avoid sensitive questions, such as ask about age or a banking account or even telephone number. If you don't need those information, just avoid them. It's not necessary to ask a lot of private questions. For example, like in this case, instead of asking what your age is, I group the age of my participant into different, what can I say, different beings or different age range. So this one will help us avoid the situation that we ask sensitive question about the participant age. Or telephone number, I put option on here, so it's not necessary to provide the telephone number information. So, is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So when communicating opinions to gather broad media, you need to take into account the context, the meaning, the cultural habits. First of all, like on your right hand side, the picture on your right hand side, you see? So when we see an issue, usually we have different angle to look at an issue, and you need to explain the context or where you're standing to look at the problem, to look at the issue. So in this case, is it number 9, guys? Both are correct. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. So you need to explain the context of your research. You need to explain your standing point when you look at an issue or when you look at a research problem. It's very important. Moreover, we as international marketing researcher also need to offer our participants the option for not taking part in our research, as well as the protection of their private information. So this is a funny feature for you guys. Protecting participants from harms, don't you think so? No. This is against the business ethics. We don't do that. Do you see it? Guys,
Yes.
this is not what we call doing research.
Foster research.
I don't know how. I don't know which word is relevant here, but yes, this is not doing research in this case. As a researcher, we need to protect our participants from harms, from any harms. We need to offer them confidential. It means that we need to keep their information as secret. We don't share it, or we don't reveal their identity, because it's gonna harm our participant. I'm gonna give you an example for this. For example, you decide to conduct an interview with some employee in your company, and then you report the result and give their name in the report to the manager. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? For example, like it sometimes happen if you reveal their identity, the manager gonna know who's saying in the report, who's saying the point, who mentioning the point in the report. And what happens if it's not a good statement about the manager? What happened? What's going to happen? It's going to harm the participant. Okay, so another problems with gathering primary data involves sampling in the field survey. And we need to make sure that we consider the reliability of lists, as well as sample size and sampling procedure. In terms of language and comprehension, we need to use back translation and parallel translation. Back translation is mean, for example, like we translate our questionnaire from English to Chinese, and then we back translate the result from Chinese to English again to compare whether there is any difference here. To compare. That's why we call back translation. Parallel translation involves more than 2 translators, and each translator translates all the material, which then will be used to compare with each other. So, from many companies, the internet provides a new and increasingly important medium for conducting a variety of international marketing research. Here are at least 7 different uses of the internet. First one involves online surveys and buyer panels, or online focus group. Now we can conduct focus group online using some free software on the internet. Or we can use web visitor tracking to examine the traffic of our website, or advertising measurement, so on and so forth. I'm going to show you some. This is online focus group. So now in the COVID-19 situation, we don't need to see each other in person. We can use some free software on the internet to conduct a focus group. And there's an example for web visitor tracking and reporting. Have you ever used this tool before? This tool is called Google Analytics. This one. Is there any one of you who used this before? Google Analytics. Guys.
Yes, I have been.
Yeah, it's very useful for us as marketers. You can first of all, like this is the result from Google Analytics for World Wide Web, googlestore.com, and you see there's a lot of useful information that Google Analytics try to produce. First of all, like right here, we have 32 people active visitor on site. It means that, okay, at the moment, right now, there are 32 consumers visiting our website. And this the number of new customer and returning customer, or page views, or the percentage for each section in our website. We can also check how long they stay at a particular subsection of our website. It's very useful, guys. Let me check how many slides left for the chapter 3. Not many. Oh, wow. Did I miss some? No. Just one more left. So, post-secondary and primary data collected by the market researcher are subject to many limitations, as I mentioned them to you before. So, accepting information at face value in foreign manner is imprudent. And the meaning of words, the consumer attitude toward products, or the interviewer's attitude, or the interview situation, are those factors that can distort our research findings. So that's it for chapter 3. Do you have any question for chapter 3? Guys?
Yes, just summarizing on the knowledge takes time to get other questions.
I can't hear you properly. Can you say again, please? Can you say it again, please?
We are consume and summarize all the knowledge we have heard from you. So it's take a little bit time to have a question about all the knowledge. And Dr. Lee, can we have a slide for the next time? We can check up on the knowledge before I've heard one more time from you. We can understand more clearly and faster.
You mean the glass material? Do you mean that?
Yes. Well, I mean the slide what you are presenting here.
Oh God, did you miss the previous class? Okay. Okay. Go back to MS Teams and scroll to the top. You're gonna see upload glass material here. Click on it. Click on glass material, and you're gonna see the PDF files for 9 chapters.
Oh, so it's in the MS Team, right?
Yes.
I found it on the MS and haven't found it. sorry, Dr. Lee. Thank you for logic one more time.
Any other anyone else who have any question for me for chapter 3? Yes, no? No question? Okay.
Yes, no questions.
So that's it for today, and see you on Friday with chapter 4. So I'm gonna check for your attendance now. Wait a minute. Nguyễn Thành Lợi. Are you there, Lợi? Nguyễn Thành Lợi. Nguyễn Thành Lợi. Okay. Absent. Nguyễn Thành Lợi. Huỳnh Lý Trân Châu. Are you listening, Châu? Hello, Châu. Châu. Thầy nói lại lần nữa nha. Huỳnh Lý Trân Châu có đi học không em? Có đang nghe không?
Nãy bạn đó có trong lớp á thầy, mà không biết sao mà nó bị out ra.
Thầy cũng biết Châu là học sinh, hình như là Huỳnh Lý Trân Châu có học với thầy trước đây. Bạn này khá là siêng. Làm sao điểm danh giờ không thấy là sao?
Dạ mà nó rớt mạng đang vô lại đó thầy.
Thầy, bạn nó nói là bạn nó học lớp kia á thầy.
À rồi vô lại rồi. Học 2 lớp một lúc hả Châu?
Dạ
Châu.
em đây thầy.
Tại sao học 2 lớp một lúc hả?
Dạ em học lớp này mà em tưởng nó qua bên lớp kia điểm danh đó thầy. Nên em mới out ra luôn á. Cái mấy bạn kêu em vô.
Hả?
Là qua bên lớp thứ 5 với thứ 7 điểm danh đó thầy.
À không em, danh sách mình lớp nào thì điểm danh lớp đó nha.
À dạ, do em bị nhầm á, nên bữa thứ 7 cũng có nhắn tin cho thầy á.
Cẩn thận nha Châu, không thôi bị mất điểm danh
dạ,
nha.
mới vừa out ra luôn á thầy.
Thầy biết, bởi vậy thầy mới ngồi đợi nè.
Dạ. Cảm ơn thầy.
Rồi lớp đi học đầy đủ ha, có một mình bạn Nguyễn Thành Lợi hôm nay không có đi học. Rồi, see you on Friday. Bye student.
See you.
Have a nice day.
Thank you for today.
You too. Thank you very much.